Hello, and welcome to the official Hacks podcast from Max and Pineapple Street Studios. I'm Bobby Finger.
And I'm Lindsey Weber, and we're your hosts unpacking every episode of Hacks Season 4.
Today we're talking about Episode 7, and it's time for Aunt Deborah to go to church.
Then we'll be joined by a very special guest, Julianne Nicholson, a.k.a. Dance Mom herself.
As always, we will be spoiling everything about this episode today. So if you haven't watched it, go back, watch Episode 7, and come back to hear us talk about it with Julianne Nicholson.
Beautiful baby, hot husband, thriving career. Women can have it all. I mean, bitches need to stop complaining.
Totally. Look, as a single childless woman who lives in a mall, I agree.
So Season 4, Episode 7 is aptly titled Dechristening. It was written by Joe Mandy and directed by Doron Hagai.
What happens in this episode? Let's recap it real quick. Deborah and Ava have reunited, thank God.
Neither of you two thought to move the chair that's wedged in the door?
Whoa, that is weird.
Yeah, we didn't see that. That'll do it.
Dance Mom becomes a liability because even though she seems sweet and pure, she has a troubling Pinterest.
What is a rugby fail?
It's when a rugby player falls and one of his balls pops out of his tiny shorts.
Fuck.
Deborah and Ava then go to DJ's kid's christening, and DJ pushes Deborah to accept this religious community that she's chosen in a way to sell jewelry, essentially.
I can get behind that.
Oh yeah, these Jesus freaks, they come with a lot of cash for the collection basket. They're sitting ducks.
The episode ends with Deborah stopping by a comedy club, seeing a great up-and-coming comic, and asking him to come on her show, where he kills it.
It's very LA. Do you believe in God? No. Do you believe in ghosts? Oh yeah, dude. I don't believe in a man in the sky. I'm not stupid, but there is a guy in the kitchen, for sure.
You know who comes back in this episode? Caitlin Olsen as DJ.
You kind of love to see Caitlin Olsen in Go Gorilla Mode, which she actually is this entire episode.
Mm-hmm. Gorilla Mode is entering my own personal lexicon in a way that's pretty serious.
DJ is going Gorilla Mode this entire episode.
The cycle of narcissism stops here. Or else.
Oh, you're threatening me? You sound just like Pope John Paul II.
Yeah, I am. Because if you ruin anything for my gorgeous, perfect genius baby, so help me God, I will go something known as LC. Low contact. Or NC. No contact. And you will have no relationship with him or me, period. You understand? Don't answer!
In my mind, in this world, DJ read a crazy self-help parenting book and learned these terms and is kind of using them, weaponizing them in this way where it's this assumption that everyone knows, which I think is what happens after you read a self-help book. You lose your mind and then you start saying terms and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think she's doing that in a really funny, actually realistic way. You totally would do that.
She's self-helped. She's obviously gone to therapy to work on her issues with her mother. She's taking advice. She's trying to live the life that she wants, and that life that she wants may not involve her mother, you know?
Well, she's also kind of I'm trying to do things different than you. That's what slowly drips out of this conversation, this back and forth that they're having throughout this episode, where she's I never had a community. I never had a place to belong. Mm-hmm. She grew up in show business, and that was a very lonely existence for her. Mm-hmm. And she was an only child and all of that. And she's saying, I just wanted him to have a community to be a part of, and this is the first semblance of that. Mm-hmm. And so we're leaning in a little. I
mean, as a Catholic, I also found the horror on Deborah's face when she notices that not only is DJ a member of this church, she's a Eucharistic minister.
What does it just mean? You're a super volunteer?
Well, you have, yeah.
You're
my parents were Eucharistic
You're the
ministers.
worst version of volunteer you could be?
You're blessed. You have to be you have to take a class. You have to be certified in a biblical sense.
You're basically going
to deliver. Her. Yeah, because you have to be,
and then you stand up there and you give out the body and the
Christ, blood of Christ. Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility. And Deborah is familiar with the church. She's oh my God, you're doing this as well? And then she plays Jurassic Park on the organ.
That was funny. I was how did DJ learn the organ?
DJ has a lot of skills that I think have not been mined, which make me think that
DJ's random.
There's always more that can come out of a DJ subplot.
We've seen DJ have this kind of thing where you think she's a fuck up and then she kind of comes through and figures it out and slays. When she was at the roast, this is the main, this is when I feel you kind of got the sense of
last
this
season.
show wants you actually to think she is chaotic, but she actually is smart and funny and gets it. She just goes about it in her own funky way. Like she is like selling the jewelry like gangbusters, but she's doing it in a way that like Deborah does approve of when she hears the whole plan. She's like, oh, you have to be a Eucharistic minister to sell your jewelry, which has been unsuccessful for so many years. And she's like, yeah. And Deborah's like, okay, slide.
Because ultimately she is Deborah's daughter. She is
Ultimately,
Vance.
like mother, like daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is something, and I'm curious, like this whole thing about religion, this whole thing about what do you believe in? What is your religion? Where do you go? You know, all this or whatever. And ultimately, like she goes to see this comedian who is joking about religion and kind of the hypocrisy of it all. And that's what she believes in, is like taking the piss and making jokes about it and breaking it down. And like, that's like what interests her. It's not this like straightforward belief thing. It's like a still thoughtful about it, but in a way that where everything has to be funny and everything has to be like in service of the comedy, of the bit.
She believes in comedy.
My dad's a Jew who converted to Islam. He's the only one to do that. My mom's white too. She converted from Catholicism. The answering machine in my house growing up was "Assalamu alaikum, you've reached the Weinbergs." That's true.
And she does this like good deed at the end of this. She does this good Christian deed. I don't think she would ever refer to what she did for that comedian as doing good, but that is what it is.
His name is Ahmed Weinberg. He's like obviously a real, they're using a real stand-up. They're using a real comedian. And she discovers him. She's at the Elysian, a place where you can see comedy in LA, which is cool. And this is actually similar to how Hannah Einbinder broke out too.
Really?
She did a set on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in 2020, and that was the only thing that the creators of Hacks had seen of hers before she auditioned. So doing a set on a late night show is kind of what got her foot in the door.
I love that art imitates life.
Well, just like, but then it's so true how the sentiment where Ava, played by Hannah, says to Deborah, you could change somebody's life. You should have a stand-up
at the beginning of this episode,
you could
right?
change somebody's life. Like, she literally says that. It's like, she's literally speaking for herself.
It's a good bit of foreshadowing,
she's like, this is how. And also, I feel like so many... I mean, not all late night shows, but a lot of late night shows have a set from a stand-up in it.
Yeah.
That's kind of a classic part
but
of...
it's a moment at the end of this episode when she has this comedian on, it feels like it's her. Should we move on to our interview with Julianne Nicholson?
Yeah, I have so many questions to ask her about nitrous.
Y'all want a buzzball?
I have green and white flavor.
I mean, I guess I'll take a green.
No, thank you. We're not having a buzz ball. We're good.
We are so excited and lucky and thrilled to be speaking with Julianne Nicholson, dance mom herself today.
Role of a lifetime.
I know.
Twitter's gonna go crazy.
Is the world ready for Dance Mom?
I don't think so. I don't
Not
think
you
so.
as Dance Mom.
No, but the world needs Dance Mom.
Yes.
Yes, now more than ever.
Now more than ever. It's right.
I mean, I think the world is familiar with the dance mom archetype, but I think you as dance mom is kind of this like layered thing for people to digest in a way that will be so delightful.
Because when I read, oh, Julianne Nicholson joins cast of Hacks season 4, I was like, what's Hacks season 4 going to be? Like, like Lindsey and I are both fans of yours.
Were you like, who dies?
Yeah, we were like,
what treatment center are they visiting?
Right.
Like Julianne will be like
I
helping
thought,
them get better.
Right.
and then it's Dance Mom.
Yeah.
How did this role come to you? How was it pitched? How did you audition? Like, how did Dance Mom find you?
Well, first of all, I think I heard Lindsey say "role of a lifetime." You're not wrong.
Thank you.
It was honestly magic. I was such a huge fan. I am such a huge fan of the show anyway. And my agent wrote and said that Jen and Paul and Lucia wanted to talk to me. And so basically I had a Zoom with them and they broke it down for me, the dance form, with the link to a couple of examples of this, archetype on the TikTok.
Sure.
I just watched a couple of videos. I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm in. Because I never get offered to do anything light or funny or with much levity. And so I was hoping to be able to do something like that anyway. And I just feel like Hacks is the number one comedy on TV, the smartest, the most thoughtful, the most sort of out of the box, risk taking show there is. So it was like, where better? So I was like, yes. And then when they told me the story, first of all, I just love the name Dance Mom. It's just like that kills me right there.
I had to confirm with the producers here. I was like, correct me if I'm wrong. We never get a name, right? She's exclusively Dance Mom.
Yeah, I think everyone. It was always it was Dance Mom, Dance Mom, Dance Mom. The crew, like everybody, it was Dance Mom.
That's on your trailer, Dance Mom.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I took a picture of it.
I love that.
And I was like, I think am I a dancer now?
Yeah.
Like,
I
is
think
that my
so.
plan B?
It's
Yeah.
add a new title to your multi-hyphenate.
So did you have to dance audition? Like I actually did.
So I didn't have to dance audition.
Okay, good.
But I knew that I had to make, there's like sort of throwaway comments about the TikToks that they're watching on the show and this. And I was suddenly like, guys, I'm gonna need a choreographer, right? Like I'm not like I can't come up with these by myself. And Hacks, bless them, of course, I'm living in England and they found a couple of people and I looked at both of these websites and one of them Corey Baker, choreographer extraordinaire. He's this little sweetheart from New Zealand, like so funny and irreverent and joyful and talented. And so I would go up to London and meet him twice a week and just go to these like Sadler, I'm going to pronounce this, it's like Sadler's Wells or Sadler Wells, which is like the #1 dance studio. And I was like, literally like, bouncing in with my ponytail, like, yeah, so guys, I'm a dancer. And like stretching and learning choreography. And it was so damn hard and so damn fun.
So funny.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's not surprising to me at all that it was choreographed by a professional. Like, you have to really understand great dance to master this sort of TikTokified version of dance.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you sort of rehearsed, was part of your process of rehearsing recording yourself so that you could sort of get that vertical video look and see how it looked?
Corey would record me and he would record himself because I rehearsed for months. Like literally a couple.
It's in the performance. You can see it.
You can tell.
I promise you.
You can tell.
I promise you.
You can tell. You can tell.
I put in the work.
You did.
No, because it
tell.
doesn't come. Like I wouldn't have guessed I needed quite that much time to like actually get it sink in, but I definitely did. And so he would record himself doing it so that I could watch him do it because he makes it look like water, right? It's just like flow, flow, flow all over the place. It's like fun. He is a boy band when he does it, like with the moves and his face, everything. Like he does everything. He's a dancer, so everything comes like with the flourish. Whereas I'm like step 2, step 3, Then he's also very generous in that it's like, okay, I can't do it like that. It's not going to come to me like that. So then we would tweak it or I would make it my own so that it felt more natural and comfortable and like authentic to
Right, because
me.
you're also supposed to believe this woman made these dances up in her house and is performing them. These are her moves, like to her body, to herself.
Exactly. Yeah. So doing something that's going to like bring down the energy or look like too much an effort was not the way to go. It's also so fast. It's so fast. It's like,
I love the idea of you pulling it out at parties. Like you're like, no, I got like, no.
I know. Listen, my husband was trotting it out. Anytime we had people over, he's like, can you please, just not the big one for Deb's show, but like do one of the TikTok ones, please. And I mean, I did, I'm not going to lie, I did a couple times to my friends, like sort of delight and horror. So, and shock.
They're like, you're doing what? I can't get over I can't get over the surprise of this role. It is so delightful.
It really is so fun.
Oh.
It is. One of the best parts too is when you realize that she has become Deborah's sidekick somehow. Like she danced her way into the seat where she's kind of like, Deborah, you're a grandmother, like, and I'm a dance mom.
And then she's like her Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
So, what do you want your grandson to call you?
Well, I've actually given this a lot of thought, and I finally arrived on Aunt Deborah.
All right, well, this one goes out to little AJ. Welcome to Earth, little dude, from your Aunt Deborah and Aunt Dance Mom.
That was totally surreal, actually. Having to actually do the dance for the live studio audience was like, before I start, and it's sort of quiet, and I'm like down, and I'm like, what the actual heck is going on here? Like, how am I doing this?
Well,
but even the audience was so friendly, and then everybody's like, dance mom. The crew was like doing the dance. Like they were cheering me on, and like I felt like it was genuine. Like Dance Mom was getting so much love that I was like, okay, something's happening here. Yeah.
I'm pivoting.
Was there a moment? So I'm glad you brought that up because I was wondering if you did shoot these in front of a full audience.
Yes.
Was there kind of a moment of catharsis when you finally, because I can imagine that being pretty nerve-wracking, even, as a professional, there is something.
It was.
There's something to performing in
different.
front of an audience. This
Yes,
ridiculous
it's different
character.
than acting. You're
Yeah.
performing a dance.
It was. Though I have to say, like, honestly, at this point in my life and career, very little embarrasses me. Like, it's okay. I'm not afraid of making a fool of myself. I'm not afraid of what people are going to think. And also I was out there when the fires happened, which was like awful. And they had to shut down filming for a couple of days. And so I did have more time to actually work on the dances, which was beneficial because then, the more you do it, the more it's sort of in your body and less in your head. So then I could kind of actually just play with it. And actually, like, it's very hard to walk onto a show, especially a very successful show sometimes, because they've got their thing and they're moving right along and they've got their scenes to get done. And this was not the case on this show. Everybody was so genuinely into it that it gave me more confidence. And I was just like, screw it, man. I'm just going to go. I'm doing this now. And I love Jean from doing Mare of Easttown together. So it's such a joy just to be in her presence because she's just such a fucking legend. Like, she's the coolest cat that there is. So, to be in her company again is just so fun. And
so it makes it easy to kind of come into a set where you're like,
yes,
I'm not known for this or whatever, but I am going to like give it a shot or whatever.
Yes. And they sort of convinced me and I believed them because I think they're so talented that, all right, like,
What's funny about Dance Mom is that, like, I'm glad we're talking about a later episode, not just like her premiere, because she's showing up again as Deborah's sidekick, and then she's showing up again with like her kind of like LA downfall or whatever. Like, she becomes like LA-ified. Like, there are layers. Like, Dance Mom is not just kind of like this one thing. And I think that's where your kind of like dramatic acting comes into play, where you're like, no, you're giving me like a person who actually does have an emotional arc on this show.
Kind of a dark one.
Right.
It's never sad, but it's quite dark.
It's close to sad.
It's close to sad.
It straddles sad.
And think about your children. What kind of example are you setting for them?
Oops, I guess I should tell you, I don't have any kids. What? That I know of.
Yes, you do. You're Dance Mom.
That's just my screen name. I wanted to go with Mother of Dance, but that was already taken by some Janet Jackson freak fan, and so I'm Dance Mom. It's not my fault if people assume I have kids.
Sorry, but it's absolutely your fault.
You are constantly talking about how much you love your kids in your videos.
I'm talking about my dances. My dances are my kids. I'm Dance Mom, Mother of Dance. What are you not understanding about this?
That entire scene has the greatest moment, which is where she reveals that she is not a mother. She is a mother of dance. She is not a mother of children, which is an incredible kind of, trick, but she's very earnest about it. It's not like she was hiding it. She just was like, no, I never said I was a mother. I said I had children and the children are dance. Like, it is just such a funny, they went looking for this demographic and they found this person who in fact does not fit the demographic they were looking for.
No, not at all. No, I know. Sort of turns that demographic up on its head.
Do you consider Dance Mom a mother even if she doesn't have children?
No.
Okay.
No.
You would say I reject
Good
this.
answer. Good answer, actually.
Yeah. It'd probably be concerning if I said yes. Yeah. I mean, I believe she believes that. Or
Yes.
do I?
Right.
I mean, I feel like she's even a little bit like creating the narrative as she goes to serve her purposes.
That's fair.
It's ridiculous.
Do you think Dance Mom has it in her to, at this moment when she is revealed to be only a mother of dance and not of human children, do you think she has it in her to weather the storm of whatever that controversy would be if we found out that America's favorite dancing mother isn't actually a mother at all in the way we expected?
Yeah. I mean, I think her 15 minutes is already coming to an end. Like, by the time that reveal happens. So I feel like America doesn't have the attention span to care one way or another.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, she could weather anything.
I agree.
No, I'm suddenly I'm picturing her on like on Traders or something. Like, who have like sort
She's
of
like fresh off
reality.
rehab.
She'd be on
Exactly.
Traders.
On Traders.
She's talking to Dr. Drew on MTV Cribs with someone from Poison.
Yeah, she's like, my dance has been taken to a new level ever since I got out of rehab.
Yeah.
Like, I feel so much more clarity. Like, it's a
Exactly.
whole narrative. Everyone's like, we love you, Dance Mom. Like, you are so brave.
Yeah, All of that. I see that for her.
Yeah.
This season is extremely LA, such a Las Vegas show, and then the season is so Los Angeles. Do you want to talk about your thoughts of Los Angeles? Because through Dance Mom, you sort of see in an otherwise pretty loving portrait of this city that celebrates, all of its quirks and all of its types of people, even though it's sort of making fun of them at every turn. Your character sort of gets overwhelmed by this city in every possible way.
So what's going on? More good news?
Bad news, actually. Old Navy is revoking your deal because of your social media.
Oh well, their loss.
No, our loss. Your loss. They just took back $1 million.
Sucks for them. I already spent it.
You already spent $1 million?
Yeah, girl, it's not hard when you're living it up.
It's been 48 hours.
LA is expensive.
How do you feel about LA? Because you don't live there.
I don't live there. I did for a long time, but I moved there actually when I was 20 for like a year from New York. Honestly, the first time I went to LA, I was like, this feels like a different planet. Like even in the air quality, like the light, the people, I was like, this is felt so different from the East Coast where I grew up. And I do think that I can see how people could get lost there. I lived there for 11 years, but up into Topanga Canyon, which doesn't feel like Hollywood, doesn't feel like LA much to me, or didn't then when I lived there. But I do think that, like, especially traditionally, you have the people who are coming to the city are usually people who are, I don't know, this is sort of very much generalizing, but like people who were told they should go to LA, like they could be an actor or they could be a model or something. So that it's sort of coming from a small town and then being dropped into this like city of people getting chewed up and spit out. And I think that's not the only thing that happens in that city. And people live like very meaningful lives that have nothing to do with the entertainment industry there, for sure. But I think if you're going there to like serve the beast, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, that rental is like all you need to know. Like this rental is like kind of what the entourage version of LA, with these houses that exist that you never get a chance to go into.
Exactly. I do remember going to like parties, and when I moved there when I was 20, you'd get invited to a party, and my boyfriend had a motorcycle and would go there, and there you would walk into this place, and I would just be like, we are not in Kansas anymore. Like it's totally relatable where you walk in. I remember going to an apartment that's a house that somebody was like, this was Liberace's house. I don't even know if it was, but I was like, yes, I bought. Oh my God, Liberace.
Yeah,
like,
what do you do other than say, wow?
I know,
How do you respond to that?
But
Sounds
when
great.
you're 20 and you know nothing, haven't like seen celebrities or whatever. It's like, that was a big deal. Like celebrities feel so other when you first get there. And then you realize that people are just people who have jobs. And
It's true.
sometimes we invite them into our living room on our television.
And there's something, I think something like especially hit me upon the rewatch that like the character is so absurd and so silly, and she huffs nitrous and buys all this stuff on nitrous, and they lose their Old Navy deal because she has a disgusting Pinterest account, with like cake farts and rugby fails and stuff.
Yep.
But like there is a weird subtle there, if you look for it, like a comment on some people just are not equipped for this city. And it's not cruel to the city of Los Angeles. It's just like, this place isn't for everyone, and it's not for Dance Mom.
For sure. Well, I remember New York is the same. I feel like it's the other side of that coin. But I remember I moved to New York when I was 18, and I invited my best girlfriend to move there with me. Because when I moved to New York in 1990, I was like, I'm home. This is it. I found my people. I found my place, the energy, everything. I was like in heaven. And so I said, oh, you have to come. We had an extra bedroom on the 6th floor walk up in Little Italy. You have to come. It's amazing. We're going to like love on the city, and we're going to get everything we want from the city. And she came, and she didn't leave my house the apartment for 2 weeks, and went home.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like it's the other version of that. And it was like,
Couldn't
okay,
handle
we
it.
went our different ways. It was like not for her. It was too much. She didn't leave unless she was with me. And I feel like LA too, it can be it's very lonely city too. That's what everyone says. And I think it's true. It takes a minute to like find your people and make it feel like home.
LA loves Dance Mom. That's the other thing. Is like whether she likes it or not, like the audience like really loves her,
Aww.
I think so. I mean, she's so huge on this show. They keep bringing her back,
True. Yeah. I mean, maybe she's just like undeniable. Maybe she just has to like come in for filming and then like be shipped back up to Calgary. That means
Calgary.
Canada.
Yeah, so she got to go back to Calgary. Yeah, is that your hope for Dance Mom, that she
Just
finds
goes
a way
back
to
home.
kind of like be a star, but then kind of not have to deal with the pressures of Los Angeles and
Or do
fame?
you want her on the Traitors?
No, I think I see. Yeah, no, I feel like she belongs. I think she's still got some. The old girl's still got some life in her yet, in terms of like performance and a wider audience.
She'll be choreographing a ballet in no time.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Julianne. This was such a treat. We love Dance Mom forever.
Oh, thank you guys so much. What a joy to talk to you about it. Thank you.
Yeah,
It was great.
Thank you so much.
I'll be listening.
Oh,
Great.
thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
And that's it for this week. This has been the Official Hacks Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Finger.
And I'm Lindsey Weber. And next time we'll be breaking down episode 8 with more special guests.
This podcast is a production of Max and Odyssey's Pineapple Street Studios. Our executive producers are Gabrielle Lewis, Barry Finkel, and Jayanne Barry.
Our producers are Melissa Akiko Slaughter and Ben Goldberg. Our associate producer is Natalie Parrott. Darby Maloney is our editor.
This episode was mixed by Hannes Brown. Pineapple's head of sound engineering is Raj Makija. And Pineapple's senior audio engineers are Marina Pais and Pedro Elvira. This episode was engineered by Javier Cruces.
Special thanks to Kenya Reyes, Allison Cohen-Sorokoch, Aaron Kelly, and Becky Rowe. Production music is courtesy of Max. You can watch new and old episodes of Hacks on Max. Big special thanks to Julianne for joining us today on the show.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.
When we die, our bodies just become useless husks. That's why I'm always saying, fuck my corpse.
Excuse me? What?
Okay, sorry. Make love to my corpse.
Okay, you can get out now.